Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're going to be talking a little bit about the preparedness. In fact, we're going to be talking about fuel preparedness. I'm sure you're all aware what's currently happening in Iran. And this has been going on now for approximately 2 weeks. And so far already, we have seen a bit small but increase in fuel prices. I'm talking about the petrol and diesel and our heating oil as well. The reason I'm bringing out this video to you, because there seem to be some people out there in my community, they seem to think that whatever's happening out there is not really going to have any effect on ourselves, and technically we don't need to prepare or in fact actually worry what's happening there. But unfortunately, this could not be further from the truth. If you follow the news, you know, obviously the conflict's been escalating a little bit, and yes, we thought it was getting better, but unfortunately it is not, and it looks like it's only getting worse. So there are talks that Iran potentially gonna block or sabotage or in fact make it unsafe one of the famous global routes that they ship gas and oil. And of course I'm talking about the Strait of Hormuz. 20% of world gas and oil goes through that lane. So can you possibly imagine what's going to be happening if it becomes unsafe and the ships are not be able to get through? And this is my point. There's people thinking, well, it doesn't really matter because it's so far away. But again, okay, we're talking about the global trade. It's going to be affecting everybody, including ourselves. And I'm not just talking about the imminent shortages or instant shortages at the fuel pumps, okay, because that might not happen. We're talking about the potentially huge price increase on the fuel and the heating oil. And of course, we're talking about the knock-on effect on anything else. As we've seen before, guys, generally, if the prices of fuel goes up, price of gas go up, everything else also just goes up. And we're talking about including food as well. So please just don't think because it is thousands and thousands of miles away from us, it's not going to be affecting us. As I said so far, right, the fuel gone up only for a few pence, but there's a reason for that. Generally, okay, when we're talking about the price increase at the wholesale level, it takes approximately 2 weeks or 14 days to come into basically the forecourt and affect your prices. Of course, in extreme circumstances, it could be done much quicker. But we're talking about, the experts are talking about, that the price of crude could go up quite a lot in terms of per barrel. And that's in time, of course, affecting our prices here. And we're talking about potentially diesel prices or petrol prices between 1.50, so £1.50 per litre, to £2 and potentially even more. And this is of course depending what's going to be happening. We've seen those prices or similar prices before. It only happened once, and that caused an absolutely massive impact on the country, on us people, and on the economy. So could you possibly imagine now if our fuels go up to £2 a litre? And as I said, guys, we're not just talking about the fuel, petrol and diesel. We're also talking about things like your heating oil. And this is not the reason I'm bringing out this video. It's not there to make you really scared. The point is, right, as a preparedness channel, the whole idea is we're going to try to prepare for those things as much as possible. And I totally understand that this closure or sabotage of or in fact making the route unsafe might not happen. But if generally conflict continue, escalate and heating up, the prices of our fuel will go up. So the point is, right, let's talk about the preparedness part. And again, it's very few things that we can do. Again, of course, it's depending on your circumstances. So first of all, I'm going to be talking about the heating oil. We live in rural Wales, okay, and our village does not have gas. So our heating and the hot water relies on the oil. And I'll give you a good example that happened let's say 5 years ago. Funny that. The price of oil before that was really cheap. So we were able to fill our tank at the cheapest point, and we're talking about 500 litres for approximately £75. During the tough times of the 2020 and shortly after, there was rationing, there were shortages for different reasons, and the price of the oil gone up enormously. The way we're talking about comparing, we used to pay £75 to fill £500 litre and then gone up to £600. There was absolutely huge increase. And this happened, unfortunately, during the winter where the heating goes on quite a lot and you use the hot water more. So that's meaning that £600 only lasted us for 6 weeks. This was £100 a week just on the heating alone. This is excluding the electricity. So the point is now, if you are on the heating oil and if you have an ability or consider filling up your tank, so far the price I think per litre is about 62 pence. but of course this will also be going up. So if you do rely on that sort of thing, consider maybe filling up your oil just in case, because we all know in the summer we're not really using the oil as much because you know the heating doesn't go on. So generally that oil, if you buy now, will hopefully last you throughout the winter. So you basically are protecting yourself from the huge price increase. This was just, guys, an example to make you understand how important this is to be able to buy stuff at the cheaper price if possible. The next thing, of course, guys, we're talking about the filling up your car. I totally understand it costs a lot of money to fill up the cars, especially if you've got the multiple cars. But if you do rely on driving to work or driving long distances somewhere, that is very important that you do have some petrol and diesel in your vehicles. Make sure you don't let it run to the last minute, because again, price increase will be pretty much imminent, whether it's just been maybe 5, 7 or 10 pence. So the point is, if you do rely, okay, make sure you don't leave the car going empty. Just fill up as you go. If you can fill it up to the full, then of course do. It is pretty much common sense, guys, but the point is a lot of people just kind of brushing this under the carpet and not thinking it's going to happen. I totally understand with the driving. If you do drive for work, if you drive a lot generally, you might think, well, it's going to be, the petrol tank might last you a month, maybe less. It depends. And of course, once it's run out, it's run out. You have to pay the full price. I totally understand that this is how it goes. But at least, for the next month, 2 or few weeks, at least you bought petrol or diesel at a cheaper price. At the same time, it is possible if you have an ability, financial ability, and ability to store your oil or fuel safely, you can pick up a couple of canisters and store them again in a safe area if you have one around the house or in a shed, whatever it is, providing it is safe and is affordable. Again, that time when we had shortages and rationing, just prior to that, we managed to get some canisters and buy some heating oil in a pump. We did pay over the odds, but we managed to store approximately 100 liters, which took us through a sort of a really tough time. I was heavily pregnant at the time as well, so that was really of utmost importance to make sure that the house was warm. And then, of course, if you do have the gas barbecues, just pop in and get yourself, top up a gas or buy yourself another gas canister, just to make sure you have something as a backup. I understand, again, it's not going to really save you tons and tons of money, but it's generally the importance of the preparedness is to make sure we are ready for any eventuality. You might not cook on a barbecue often. You might have an electric hob, which means it's absolutely fine. But if you do run your, say, gas hob and suddenly there's a shortage of gas, or the gas in fact gone through the roof, then of course having your outdoor cooking facilities with spare gas could really save you some money. So there we are, guys. That was a really brief video just to make you aware that things potentially could really go sideways, and it is pretty much inevitable that fuel prices are going to be going up very, very soon. Be they'll be going up by 5 or 10p, or they'll be potentially going up even over £1 on the top. That's all dependent on what's going to be happening. So my advice to you guys, just be prepared. All right, well, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, thumbs up, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and I shall see you soon. Bye-bye.